Why now is the best time to make millions with cryptos, even with a small bankroll and even if you know nothing about technology. Let me put it bluntly, the rise of cryptocurrencies is by far the biggest wealth generation opportunity of your lifetime. Now, if we look back, cryptocurrencies were already the fastest growing asset class of the last decade. We went from less than $500 million at the end of 2012 to 2.77 trillion in 2022. That's a compound annual growth rate of 150%. This growth rate makes crypto assets the highest earning investment in history. And if you look at this table here, you see a comparison of Bitcoin to gold as a representative for hard assets and the S&P 500, the general stock market, as a representative for stocks. And what you can see here, no matter what time frame you compare, anywhere from the last 2 years to the last 10 years in this table, you see in this brown yellowish color Bitcoin, and then at the bottom in really small bars you see gold and the stock market. So the comparison is not even close. Bitcoin outperformed everything else that's out there in the market by a huge margin. So after a decade of rapid growth, how many people are using cryptos today? Based on monthly active users, my best guess is there are about 60 million DeFi users right now. In total, there are around 290 million people that have some exposure to the crypto market. And this is based on verified identities at centralized crypto exchanges. So not necessarily even these 290 million are all active or invested today, but give or take 290 million people that have some exposure to cryptocurrencies. But there are 7.95 billion people on the planet. So crypto only really has a 3.64% adoption worldwide. And it's much less than even 1% adoption among institutions and nation states. So now let me talk about why crypto will continue to be the fastest growing asset class during the 2020s. We have a rapidly growing foundation. If we look at internet usage worldwide, in 2022, there were 4.95 billion internet users, and that's really only just 62% of the global population. So there are about 210 million new internet users added every single year, and this growth is actually accelerating. That means we have at least 14 more years of massive growth ahead of us just on the population of internet users worldwide. Plus, there are hundreds of billions of Internet of Things users, like smart devices, sensors, vehicles. More and more things go online these days and get connected to the internet. So this leads to exponential growth of data. You can see here on this chart, we're just in the sweet spot right now where things will really start to take off over the next few years. But let me get back to cryptos now. The internet users are just the foundations for what's going to happen. So the internet users are growing, but now we're going to look at the super cycle of the 2020s when it comes to cryptos. Because we have a growth cycle on top of a growth cycle. And I call this the Genesis cycle. Because once adoption of a technology hits about 10%, something really, really powerful happens and this Genesis cycle takes hold. As an example, I'm going through a few different technologies to show you that this is a universal thing that happens with every single technology. We have an early adopter phase until we get to the 10%, and then we have a mainstream adoption phase where the largest chunk of growth is happening, and then of course we always have like the laggards that come later, the maturity phase, where the remaining 10% come. So here in this example, we have cars in the US. You see it took about 14 years to hit this 10% inflection point. And once this inflection point was hit, we have the Genesis cycle. And then over the following 14 years, we got all the way up to 90% adoption. If we look at mobile phones, exactly the same thing is happening. You can see here it started in the early 80s. It took, in this case, also 14 years to hit the magical 10%. and then boom, Genesis cycle, and over the next 14 years, we got all the way up to 90% and saw massive, massive growth. If we look at broadband internet, we'll see already things are speeding up now. Broadband internet started in the early 90s, and after 8 years, we hit 10%, the inflection point where the Genesis cycle starts. And then over the following 8 years, we had this big run up to 90%. So as an investor, clearly where you want to get into something is when the Genesis cycle starts. Once we hit this critical 10% inflection point, this is where you get in. This is where the hyper growth phase comes in. And just to give you an example, one more example, how you can see how this is really completely universal no matter what technology we talk about. Even flush toilets follow this technology adoption S-curve, where in this case, in 1875, it started. It took about 50 years back then to get to 10% inflection. But even in this really long, slow, drawn out timeline, once it hit this 10% inflection point, over the following 50 years, got all the way up to 90%. So if we're looking at Bitcoin as a representative for the crypto market, we see Bitcoin started really in 2010, where we had the first exchanges where it really started trading. And then over 10 years now in the US or in developed markets in general, it's not just the US, you can also say the same for Central Europe, probably for Australia too, for the developed countries. We're now at this magical 10% mark where we hit the Genesis cycle. So over the next few years, there is no better place in the world to be invested in than cryptocurrencies. This is where the biggest move will happen now in monetary terms, in percentage terms, where the most amount of wealth will be created over the coming few years when we get the majority exposure over the majority of this Genesis cycle. This is where ridiculous wealth will be generated, and where we go from 10% to all the way up to 90% to billions of users just over the next few years. You see here a projected curve. This is from Cambridge. To see how we get to 5.2 billion crypto wallets over the coming years. So thanks to this super cycle, crypto adoption is growing at twice the speed of internet adoption. We saw when we look back to the flush toilets, it took 50 years to get to the 10% and then another 50 years. And we see with cars it was faster, with the internet it sped up already, but now with cryptos we're seeing something that we have not seen before because the timeline is compressing. Everything is happening faster now, and so it's happening at even twice the speed of internet adoption. So it might not even take all the way to 2030. We might really be looking just at the next 3 to 6 years, give or take, where the majority of this Genesis cycle will happen. So this is why this is by far the biggest opportunity, not just in many, many years, but quite literally, it sounds so cliche, but it's absolutely true, quite literally of your lifetime. There's never going to be something as significant, a wealth generation event as significant as this Genesis cycle in crypto that is now coming up. This makes crypto not only the biggest money-making opportunity in the world right now, but also the fastest. There is no other way where you can make wealth, where you can make money faster than in cryptos. No other technology in history has seen adoption as fast as crypto. That gets me to the million-dollar question. Why invest right now? The current chaos in financial markets worldwide is delivering you the best entry price of the decade. So we not just have the fastest and biggest wealth generation opportunity of your lifetime, but right now, with all the chaos in the world right now, we also quite literally have the best entry price of this entire decade of the 2020s. We have just seen the biggest deleveraging event in the history of the crypto markets. The total crypto market capitalization went from $2.77 trillion all the way down to $986 billion. We had the famous or infamous lunar death spiral where $41 billion were evaporated almost overnight in a span of like 2 or 3 days. We had the largest crypto hedge fund, Three Arrows Capital, with way over $10 billion in assets under management, get liquidated by creditors, completely blew up. And then we saw one of the largest crypto borrowing and lending platforms with 1.7 million users and with $11.8 billion in assets under management go bankrupt. So not only is this complete chaos, this contagion event where so much gets liquidated and so much wealth got destroyed, Not only is this the best opportunity in 4 years, because crypto moves up and down more or less in 4-year cycles. So right now, we're not just looking at the best opportunity in 4 years, but right now you have the best entry point that you're going to get during the entire decade of the 2020s. And of course, you have to be a contrarian to make the biggest gains. Now, when there's blood in the streets, when things look the worst, is the best time to make money. So let me talk briefly about some common challenges that prevent the average person from getting started on their journey to crypto wealth. Many people ask themselves, how do you even get started? Information overload, it's so complex, so complicated, like where do I even go to get started? What is step one? Then of course, with thousands of cryptocurrencies, how do you pick the right ones? How do you pick the big winners that really run up in price? Of course, you don't want to buy a Luna before it implodes, right? So you have to have a system to select the high quality coins. The same is true about the exchanges. There are literally hundreds of different crypto exchanges. Which are the best ones to use? Where do you get the best prices? Where's the most liquidity? And where is your money safe? Which ones can you trust? Then another very, very important point. How do you properly protect your cryptos from hackers and from hardware failure after you buy them? And then what to do if you're not tech savvy, if the whole setup with computers and how to manage the whole thing, if that is overwhelming to you, how, as a normal person that doesn't know that much about technology, how do you do all of that? And then another big question that I hear very frequently, the whole crypto market grew from nothing to big numbers. Is it too late to make the really big returns? And of course the answer is no. I just explained to you all about the Genesis cycle. Quite literally, you couldn't come at a better time. So let me tell you the incredible story of how I completely missed the boat on Bitcoin and still got rich. So here you see a photo of my office in Asunción in Paraguay, where I was living in 2009. And this is where the Bitcoin white paper crossed my desk. I read it and I realized immediately, wow, if this works, this is absolutely not just life-changing, but world-changing, right? Everything is going to change if this works. But of course, back then, I was already in these kinds of things with the digital monetary trust, e-gold, like with online currencies and stuff before Bitcoin, and all of that failed. So I was very skeptical, and I thought, let me put this aside and let me check back in. There were not even any crypto exchanges or anything where you could buy it. The only way to get it was to mine it. So I just thought, let's put it on the side and check later to see if this really works. And then fast forward, like half a year later, I checked back in and I saw Bitcoin at $1. It went from nothing, from like 1 or 2 cents to $1. I'm like, oh no, I missed absolutely everything. And of course, looking back now, nothing could be further from the truth. So even back then, when I thought I completely missed the boat, eventually I got in at around $2. So it still worked out okay for me. But the same thing can be true for you today, getting in just now, right before the Genesis cycle. So you are in the right place at this very moment, and you're at the right time. So here's what we're going to cover here in this video presentation today. I'm going to show you my fulcrum framework. This is my secret system for finding the biggest winners in the blockchain ecosystem. I'm going to show you the 20x5 matrix, a high impact capital allocation strategy to reap maximum profits from the crypto market cycles. And then I'm going to show you real world results, what you can achieve with this framework and with this capital allocation strategy. And then at the end, I will have a surprise gift for you. I'll be revealing this at the end of this presentation. This gift is worth $297, so stay tuned for that. And of course, much more during this presentation. So let's get right into it. Why you should pay attention to me. Let me say a few brief words about myself so you know who is talking to you here right now. I have 13 years of experience in the crypto market. I just got briefly into my story, how I discovered Bitcoin and how I got into it. I used to work as a crypto expert for Agora, the largest financial publishing company in the world. That's something I did in the past. I am the co-founder and head of investment strategy of one of the best performing and fastest growing crypto hedge funds in the world, Second Renaissance Investments. And I'm the editor of Project Serenity, a premium crypto research letter. I am a very private individual. You know, I hate to brag and be ostentatious and all of that. So in general, I'm very low key, but I want to give you a sneak peek into my lifestyle so you can see what is possible with cryptos to make this real for you. Now, we have several properties around the world. This is our newest addition. We just bought this gorgeous multi-million beachfront property. And here in this picture on the left, you can see my wife in our lap pool. And here on the right, you can see the views, the amazing sunsets we have every day, pretty much from every room of our nice mansion there. So just a little sneak peek, what is possible if you get into cryptos. But let me now get to a few other people and see what they have to say about me. Let's hear from Doug Casey, legendary speculator, one of my mentors, and New York Times best-selling author.
Well, I've known Marco for about 10 years or so, and of all places we met in Asunción in Paraguay, so that's another story. But I find Marco very, very knowledgeable, and he's highly intelligent. He's philosophically completely sound and on the same wavelength that I'm on. And he's one of those guys that when I talk to him about any matters of technology, especially computers and especially cryptos, he's a font of knowledge, but more than that, a font of good judgment and actually wisdom on the subject. I think he's going to make me and a lot of other people a lot of money in these things.
Next up, we have Nick Giambruno, renowned speculator, international investor, geopolitics expert, and he's the founder of the Financial Underground and editor-in-chief of Contra Speculator. Here's what Nick has to say.
Hi, Nick Giambruno here. I want to share a few words about my good friend, Marco Wutzer. Marco was one of the earliest people to recognize the tremendous potential of Bitcoin. Bitcoin could very well be the thing that rips the monetary power out of the hands of the government, making it the most important innovation of our lives. Even today, the vast majority of people don't truly understand what a revolutionary technology this is. Marco understood Bitcoin immediately, all the way back in 2009, the year Satoshi launched it. Marco has a truly exceptional understanding of what is happening in this space, and I suggest you listen to what he has to say.
And then we have Sven Lawrence here. He's the CEO of Sonia Asset Management, and he's the editor and publisher of Undervalued Shares. He says, Marco Wutzer has a decade-long track record in all things crypto and blockchain. He's one of the original investors in the sector and has built a global network of associates. I would not make an investment in this space before having consulted him on his views. And here are a few testimonials of my clients. I just made a little collage here, put a few different things together. I have tons and tons of those. I haven't even had time to put them on my website yet. Here are a few for you. So here on the upper right-hand side, we see Christian saying, I'm rewarded for my patience with improved valuations, almost more than 100%. My overall balance is 15 winners and 3 losers. Then let's see, what else do we have? Here on the top left side, prompt professional advisory provided every month. In fact, my initial investment doubled in less than 3 months. Here at the bottom, what do we have here? Well, you can read it for yourselves. All the stuff I have here on the screen. I have tons and tons of these testimonials. Just a little preview of what my clients have to say. But what I want to show you today is proof. I want to give you cold hard proof of what are actual real results. It's all nice what other people say, how great I am, but what are the real numbers? So here's a case study from my newsletter portfolio. These are real world results, and most of them are still open positions. So this is in the middle of an investment cycle. This is not even the final results yet. The final results will be even better than this, what we see here right now. So this is from my Project Serenity newsletter portfolio. This is after about 3 years. I expect to hold most of these things another 1 to 2 years. At the time I took this screenshot, there were 24 positions. And you can see here there are 3 of them highlighted with red arrows. We have one with 5,798% open gains, another one with 2,145%, and then in the upper right hand side we have 3,778%, And then you see a whole bunch of okay results, anywhere from 52% to 341% is what I see here. And then, of course, nobody's 100% perfect. That's all part of the strategy. Of course, we have a few losers that you can see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positions that are down. But of course, we made more than up for that with these huge winners that we have there. So these are some of the results that you can expect if you follow my fulcrum framework in my 20 by 5 capital allocation strategy. If you follow what I do here with Project Serenity, these are the kind of results that you can get as well. Now let's talk about 6 common mistakes that will absolutely kill your net worth. Common crypto investing mistake number 1. Only buying Bitcoin or Ethereum. Now these are the 2 blue chips in the space. They are by far the biggest, but that also means percentage-wise they move the smallest. They are still, of course, great investments. There's nothing wrong with buying Bitcoin or Ethereum. But if you want to see these huge multi-1000% gains that I just showed you, then of course you have to buy more cutting-edge, up-and-coming projects that will be the dominant players of the future. Common crypto investing mistake number 2. Not buying high-quality coins with real 100x growth potential. You see here a screenshot of CoinMarketCap where we're almost at 20,000 different coins. Now, of course, 90%, 95% even of those are complete shit. You shouldn't buy that. They are completely useless. They're either just a copycat project, a scam, or just doing nothing interesting at all. So you have to know how to separate the winners from the losers. Common crypto investing mistake number 3. Not knowing when to buy or sell. This is just as important as buying the right coins, because if you don't make the right moves with buying and selling, then you're not going to make these big gains. And the key is to hold over as much of a growth cycle as possible. You don't need to be perfect with your market timing. If you buy generally low at the right time early in the cycle and you sell relatively close to the top and you realize the majority of this growth cycle and especially of this upcoming Genesis cycle, which will be the biggest crypto cycle probably ever, if you capture the bulk of that move, then you never ever need to worry about money again in the future, that's for sure. Common crypto investing mistake number 4. Not knowing how to safely store your cryptos. This is absolutely crucial, of course, because with cryptocurrencies, you're absolutely sovereign with your wealth, with your money. You're not dependent on any intermediary or third party like a bank or brokerage or anything like that. You're 100% in control of your money, but on the flip side, it also means that you're 100% responsible for it. So knowing how to safely store your cryptos is absolutely crucial, because hardware can fail, of course. It can always break. You can get your laptop or your phone stolen, right? And then, of course, there's a lot of phishing and scam attempts, so you need to know to not fall for these. So you really have to know what you're doing and have to know how to keep your cryptos safe. Common crypto investing mistake number 5. Not getting paid to wait by grabbing big dividends. There are huge returns possible in crypto while you're waiting for these huge gains, these 100x moves. You can get paid while you sit there and do absolutely nothing. And not only can you get paid, but you can also get paid really well to wait. So here's an example from a while ago from my newsletter portfolio, where you had the opportunity to make 47% a year in dividends while you're waiting for the thing to go up. And by the way, this has been one of our best performers, up thousands of percent. So you can basically double this performance of a few thousand% if you hold it for a while, because of these massive dividends that you're getting on top of it. Now, over time, this has come down. This is not 47% anymore, but it's still double digit. And we have several double digit opportunities in the newsletter portfolio. Common crypto investing mistake number 6. Not buying on the right exchange and getting a bad entry price. This is called slippage. If you see here on the left, there are 525 exchanges right now, and you really have to know where to buy which coin, because otherwise you can see something like in the graphic here on the right, where it's marked in the red circle. You can see there is very limited sell side liquidity. So if you want to buy a position here, then you move the price all the way to the right hand side of this band. So you have huge slippage. So you're getting a really bad entry price. And of course, you want to avoid that. You want to maximize your performance. So you absolutely have to know on which exchange to buy which coin. And in most cases, that's a different exchange for each coin. So very, very important to get the best execution. Now, let's get to the fulcrum framework. Let's find out how to find these big winners. How to find hidden gems in a sea of shitcoins using leverage points in the blockchain ecosystem. I mentioned earlier we have almost 20,000 coins, so how do we find the hidden gems? Well, if we look at the blockchain ecosystem, I personally, in my framework, I divide it into different layers. Now, it might look a little bit overwhelming and complicated, but it's really not that difficult. I'll go through it now step by step and explain to you exactly how that works. We have in the middle the blockchain layer. There's not just Bitcoin and Ethereum. There are many other so-called layer 1 blockchains and even something called layer 2 blockchains. So there is still a lot of development happening in the technology of blockchains themselves. They get more performant, they get faster, they have more capacity, the fees get cheaper, like all the good stuff that comes with development of a technology over time. All of this is of course still happening with cryptos. So just because one blockchain network might be big right now, it doesn't mean that it will necessarily be big in the future. And by finding here the big blockchain networks of the future and getting into them early, this is one of these fulcrum points, one of these leverage points where you can make huge gains. So very, very interesting space, this blockchain layer for investment. If we look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin is the Model T of blockchains. It's now already 12 or 13 years old. So that means it's super slow, it's super expensive, it has really low transaction capacity, and it's really just a basic database to transfer an asset, namely Bitcoin, from A to B. You can't do anything more complicated than that with Bitcoin. To get to the really more advanced use cases of everything that's possible with blockchains, we have to look to the other newer, next generation, high-speed, high-performance blockchains. Now, let's look at the token and asset layer on top. This is where you find all the different kind of blockchain-based assets and also where you find the different application, the different crypto apps that do different things. Example could be like a decentralized social media app, a trading app, or any app that runs on a blockchain. Over time, this layer will probably in monetary value become the biggest layer because of all the amount of assets and apps that are represented on it. But from an investment point of view, it offers basically no leverage at all. Think about it like this. Do you want to benefit from the growth of just one application, or do you want to be invested in the blockchain that benefits from the growth of thousands of applications that run on that blockchain? So lots of interesting stuff happening on this layer, but not an interesting layer for investment. Next, below we have the protocol layer. Now, protocols are basically blockchains that are optimized for one specific use case. They do one thing and one thing only, and they are specialized in that. Now, that can be something like a blockchain connector that connects the different blockchains together, because this is, of course, a very important use case that all these things can talk to each other, that you can use things on different networks, and that it all goes together as one seamless experience. Then there's, of course, decentralized exchanges, because you also want to trade all these assets. So there are specialized protocols that do just that, or search engine type protocols that index all these blockchains so you can find the data. So there are specialized protocols like that. And in this layer, we find also very, very interesting investments with a lot of leverage potential where we can see really huge gains. Now below that, we have the core layer. This is core infrastructure. Every once in a while, there's a hidden gem there, but in general, it's also not so interesting from an investment perspective, because a lot of stuff like a decentralized distributed file system here, for example, the interplanetary file system, they don't even have any tokens, so you couldn't even invest in it. And then lastly, on the bottom, we have the hardware layer. And these are things like point of sale terminals. Of course, there are all kinds of different sensors in the logistics space. More and more stuff gets connected to blockchains. We have the whole mining chips, the whole mining infrastructure. This is a big space. And then RFID tags and various other things. But here's the thing. Mining or hardware in general is a very low margin and highly competitive business. So as an investment, it's completely uninteresting. There's zero leverage there and a whole lot of risk. So to summarize, in the blockchain layer and in the protocol layer is where we go looking for the hidden gems that will be the big winners of the future. Next, let me get to the 20 by 5 speculation matrix. This is my high impact capital allocation strategy, and let me show you how it works, and let's compare it to how things are generally being done in the stock market. Most investors take 100% of their capital and put it into stocks or ETFs or mutual funds, and the goal is to make, like, say, 10% a year. I think the average return over time from the stock market is something like around 8%. So this is how most people invest their money. But we might right now be at the end of a 40-year bull market in stocks. So being in stocks in general, and I'm not even just talking about tech stocks that were the high flyers of the last few years, but the stock market in general is a very risky proposition, because the stock market moves in big long cycles and we might be close to the top right now. So in general, it's a very risky area to be in right now. So here's a better idea how to spread out your risk. And that would be to take 10% of your capital, spread it out into 10 different investments that are uncorrelated. Uncorrelated meaning they have nothing to do with each other. They are in different niches, in different asset classes, in different sectors, and each of them with a more high growth opportunity that has the potential to grow 100% or more. So now you have minimized risks, more upside potential, and that's already a much better strategy than just being in general in the stock market 100%. But of course, in the crypto space, high quality crypto coins, they can explode 1,000%, even 10,000% or more. So they have much more leverage in terms of the profit potential that they can give you. So in this case, the diversified strategy, we have to adjust it a little bit for optimized results. So this brings us to the winning strategy, and that's to take 5% of your capital and put it into about 20 different positions. Very well selected cryptos. So this gives you then maximum profit potential with minimized risk. You saw earlier my real world results. If you do it like that, if you know what you're doing with selecting the coins, and if you follow this capital allocation strategy, you have 3-4 really huge winners. You have a really broad middle that does really well in and of itself. And then of course you have a few losers, which you always have. But overall, you have huge multiples on your entire investment. Like your entire net worth multiplies many times over with this strategy. Here again, you see the results that I just mentioned. You have a couple really big winners, and keep in mind, these are still open positions. What is now 5,798%, this can be 10,000, 15,000% in the end. So the power of this strategy, it's a very difficult to overestimate it. Like this can make such a transformational impact on your net worth, you have no idea. Okay, what I have given you right now is the blueprint for making millions of dollars with cryptos. But of course, you still might have questions. How do you find the hidden gems before they become popular and run up in price? I gave you a sneak peek on where to look in general, but you still need to analyze the projects and find the actual hidden gems. Do you have the technical understanding to analyze the merits of the different crypto coins? How do you analyze the token economics to be sure the coin is a good investment? This is absolutely crucial, because the project might be good in every sense and might be a huge project in the future. But if the token economics are not designed in a way for the value to accrue to that token, then what good does it do as an investment? How do crypto market cycles work? And when is the right time to buy or sell? Absolutely crucial as well. So now you have two options. Number one, you can take the information, the strategy I just explained to you, and you can implement it on your own. And if you have the skills to do it, then this is a great way to move forward. But for most people, this doesn't apply. So if you need help, if you need assistance in analyzing all of that, if you want guidance on how to do that and implement this properly, then I invite you to join me in my premium newsletter, Project Serenity, and you'll have the best crypto picks hand delivered to you, together with a detailed analysis of each coin and of course the guidance on when to buy and sell. So you have it all done for you. All you have to do is follow along with your own money, and then you'll have the same results as you've seen in the screen in the previous slides. So before I get to the price, let me summarize for you what you're going to get. You'll get my market commentary. The blockchain ecosystem is evolving at a rapid pace. I mentioned earlier how it's growing twice as fast as the internet itself. So you understand what's happening in the crypto market and what the next hot sectors are going to be in the blockchain ecosystem. You'll get my investment recommendations. You'll discover the best investment opportunities, coins that can go up 100, 300 times or even more. And of course, I maintain a model portfolio with regular updates on portfolio projects. This is another thing that you must not underestimate. To follow 20 projects, you have to, of course, keep up to date with them. Are they developing the way you want to see them develop? Or are they falling by the wayside? Is the investment thesis playing out as expected? Or is the market moving into a different direction? So you have to closely follow all these investments because the space is changing quickly. So in my newsletter, I do all of this work for you, and you'll have the model portfolio with plenty of updates of what's happening with our positions. In summary, it's everything you need to grow your net worth 10 times or more over the next few years. And I'll have a couple free bonuses for you as well. I'll give to you my T4 method. This is my powerful system to identify only the most lucrative blockchain projects. The 4 T's that can make or break any blockchain project. And they are technology, team, traction, and tokenomics, as I call it, the economics of a blockchain token. This is a complete video workshop that walks you step by step through how all of this works, my proprietary T4 method, and the value of this is $799, and I'll include that for free. You'll also get my Crypto Millionaire Quick Start Guide. Are you suffering from information overload? Is it a whole lot of stuff to digest? Don't know where to start? Well, here are my step-by-step instructions to get started right away without missing any of the crucial steps and doing everything in the right order, how it should be done. This is a value of $149, and again, I'll include this as well. Next, I'll have for you the art of speculation. This is my exact blueprint that has made me a crypto millionaire. It's your exact playbook for multiplying your net worth many times over during the next few years. And the art of speculation includes the only predictable pattern that you can count on. This is the only concept you need to understand to become really, truly wealthy. It shows you how to use mass psychology to your advantage and rake in massive profits. This and much, much more is all included in the art of speculation. This has a value of $799, and again, I'll include this for free. So how much is all of this going to cost? Well, I used to charge $350 an hour for consulting. I no longer offer consulting because I'm really busy with my hedge fund and with the newsletter itself, so I no longer offer that. But my consulting was in such high demand that here's a crypto team from Europe that flew in all the way to my home in Medellin to see me, just to invite me for lunch and pick my brain. And of course, smart strategy, because if you fly an entire team half across the world just to take me out to lunch, how can I say no to that, right? But that's how high in demand my consulting time was. So $350 an hour. And so to get through all the material that you're going to get in Project Serenity, that would take you at least 25 hours. So at my consulting rate, really heavily discounted, and I even don't offer it no more at all, that would cost you $8,750 to work with me privately one-on-one. In my main business, running one of the most successful crypto hedge funds in the world, you get exactly the same type of thinking, the same kind of strategies with Project Serenity than what we're doing with our fund. So you're getting access to some really high level stuff here. And our hedge fund clients, they invest a minimum of $200,000. Most of our people invest a lot more than that. And even though they invest the minimum, they come back time and time again every few months to add more money to the fund because they realize the potential and they see what we're doing. So you would have to have at least $200,000 to get access to the same kind of stuff. I mentioned earlier, I used to write for Legacy Research Group, part of the largest publishing company in the world, Agora Publishing, a multi-billion-dollar publisher of financial newsletters. And they used to sell my research, this exact same research, for $3,500 a year. But of course, I'm not going to charge you that much. I have a really, really fair offer for you. But before we get to the price, let's think through really quick, what is access to this research really worth to you? If you only have $10,000 and invested in cryptos right now, for over the next few years, this can easily turn into $150,000. If you have a little more money, if you take $25,000, this could easily turn into $375,000. And even if you invest only just 50K, which is really not all that much, like it's probably the price of an average car, this can turn into $750,000 or even $1 million. And then of course, many of my subscribers that have been with me for a few years, they have already turned small bankrolls into a fortune. Many of them have already become millionaires thanks to access to my research. So what is this research worth to you? What can you do with your investment money looking out 2 or 3 years? Now let's get to the special opportunity that I have for you here today. You'll get access to Project Serenity today, not for the old price of $3,500, but I'll make a really fair deal for you. You'll get it for only $997. So why am I doing this for this low price really? Well, I am already independently wealthy. I gave you a little sneak peek earlier. Like money is always nice, right? If I would say it's not about money, that would be a lie, right? Everybody wants more money, and this is a business for me. So of course I do it partially anyways to make money. But I don't need that money, right? My hedge fund is a much bigger business and I'm already wealthy, right? So the real thing for me is central banks and the fiat currencies, the fiat debt slavery system. This is really the #1 enemy of the common man. That is slow inflation over time that really grinds out the middle class and the working class. This is the enemy #1. I want to help the average person to not stay poor through inflation in this system of debt slavery, as I wrote here, but I want to help you to get out of this quicksand and to transform your wealth. And I want to take as many people as possible with me on that journey. The blockchain ecosystem is the only solution to become a truly sovereign individual. You can only really become sovereign and independent of everything if you are wealthy. This is just the facts, that's just the way it is. So I want to help as many people as possible to exit the matrix and become truly free. And eventually, I believe that this will lead to a second renaissance. Once we get the money system out of the hands of the central banks, so much entrepreneurial power, so much creativity, so much wealth will be unleashed onto the world that we're really going into a second renaissance period, probably in the 2030s. This is my belief. This is why our fund is called Second Renaissance Investments, and I want to take you with me on that journey. That's why I'm making my products as cheap as possible and sell them well below industry standard prices. A lot of newsletters, the premium newsletters, they cost anywhere between $1,500 and $5,000 a year, and a lot of them are honestly garbage. So I price my stuff well below industry average, and I think it's more than fair what I'm charging. You've seen the results that my subscribers are getting, so please come and join me. Let me briefly mention why there is absolutely no money back guarantee. I work 6 days a week, pretty much all day long, to stay on the cutting edge of crypto. You know, I do this out of passion. I live and breathe the blockchain ecosystem, and I spend literally all my time on it. I had to make a deal with my wife to cut down my working time from 7 days a week to 6 days a week, just to give you an idea. So I am in the business of selling research. Like, I pay a high price for putting all my time into this, and I'm in the business of selling this, not giving it away, right? So once you get access to research, it's information, you can't really give it back. It's not like something you buy on Amazon, you don't like it, and you just send it back. It doesn't work like this. So if you're the kind of person that's already thinking about a refund before you're even buying, then let me say very bluntly, this is not for you. I really don't want this kind of customer. I want somebody who understands the magnitude of this opportunity that is in front of you right now, and somebody who takes massive action and makes this wealth generating opportunity a reality for themselves. So that's why there are absolutely no refunds. And I mentioned already all the free stuff I'm including with your subscription. I have another special surprise for you. And this is a fast action super bonus. You know, there are the kinds of people that analyze everything to death, and what about this and what about that, you know. I like people that can make decisions quickly, the action taker, the movers, the shakers. So if you're that kind of person, then I have a great extra super bonus for you, my fast action super bonus. What if you're brand new to the world of crypto? What if you're starting from zero? What if you don't know anything? I have a video course. It's called Crypto Quantum Leap. And this is the most comprehensive video course for crypto beginners on the market, anywhere, available anywhere really. And that teaches you absolutely everything you need to know to get started today. Inside of my Crypto Quantum Leap members area, you'll learn this. The single best exchange for buying cryptos. It's one of the oldest and safest exchanges that keeps annoying paperwork to a minimum and even has some of the lowest fees in the business. Using the wrong exchange can result in your money being held up for weeks, or worse, using an insecure exchange puts your money at risk from hackers. Step-by-step instructions on how to open an account with this exchange so you can easily follow along, and exactly how to execute a trade and how to withdraw your Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever you buy with it. The differences between two types of crypto wallets, which one is more secure, which one is more user-friendly. You'll learn the secrets that took me years to figure out without making any of the costly mistakes that I made. The absolute best wallet to use for crypto beginners. This wallet is safe, beautiful, and easy to use. How to back up your crypto wallet in case something happens to your computer. That means your assets will be safe no matter what happens. The 3 functions of money and why an imminent upgrade is coming soon to blockchain technology that will provide the last missing function. It changes everything, and you'll want to be invested right before this upgrade takes effect. How a mysterious computer genius solved the decade-old cryptocurrency problem, the Byzantine generals problem, and created Bitcoin in 2008. Understanding this technological breakthrough is crucial for your long-term success. You really want to understand these things at a deep level. The better you understand things, the more conviction you have, and the easier it is to make this all a reality for you. The one feature any store of value must have to survive and prosper, and how blockchain technology makes this attribute available online for the first time. How blockchains actually work. From wallets to transactions, I'll explain the blockchain so you can understand it even if you know nothing about technology. Everything in simple terms for the layman. Cryptography for the layman. Understand exactly how crypto wallets work, which cryptographic key acts as your blockchain bank account, and which key you should never reveal to anybody or you'll risk losing all of your funds. Why Bitcoin and other cryptos are bulletproof against hackers, spyware, and secret backdoors so you can sleep soundly at night knowing your assets are safe. The one security risk you absolutely must know about. I'll show you exactly how to avoid it. This is absolutely crucial. And then, of course, some trivia too. Who really created Bitcoin? This answer will really surprise you. A common myth about Bitcoin's anonymity, and why you need to know the truth behind this myth. How blocks are linked together to form the blockchain, like how does the actual blockchain itself work? How to quickly confirm your transaction so you know when your funds have arrived safely. How blockchains agree over transactions while the database is distributed over thousands of computers all over the world. Like how does that really work? The key innovation Ethereum brought to the blockchain technology and how it enables a whole new world of applications and investment opportunities. The essential security system you absolutely need to add to all your crypto accounts to keep your money safe from hackers. And of course, step-by-step setup instructions so you can easily follow along. Again, all this security stuff, this is so crucial. If you do this wrong, it will cost you dearly down the road. So this is really, I can't stress enough how important this is. A little known tactic, how you can hide all your internet traffic from prying eyes, including your own internet service provider. This allows you to access services you might otherwise be blocked from. And as a hint, one of the most important crypto services blocks Americans. So there's ways around this. The one tool you need to pull this off and exactly which provider to use. There are countless of bad providers to avoid. I tested many of those over the years. I'll tell you exactly which one is the best one. How to determine the best exchange to use to buy or sell any crypto token so you can get the best price and get your orders filled as quickly as possible. A common myth about crypto wallets exposed. This is an important concept to understand to always keep your funds safe. and much, much more. This is just really a very condensed summary of all the stuff that's in this course. The Crypto Quantum Leap video course, it's a multi-hour video course. And this fast action bonus has a $297 value. That's the price of this course. So to summarize this special opportunity I have for you today, you get Project Serenity, the main research, the main newsletter, a $3,500 value. I'll include for you my T4 method, another $799 value. You'll get the Crypto Millionaire Quick Start Guide, a $149 value. Then you'll get the Art of Speculation, another $799 value. And if you take advantage right now, you get the super fast action bonus, my Crypto Quantum Leap video course that retails every day for $297. So the total value is well in excess of $5,500, and you get this right now for $997. I think this is a really great and a really fair deal. So what is the catch? I hate fake deadlines that try to manipulate you into buying something, like buy right now, tomorrow it's gone, right? And it's all this fake stuff. Like I hate stuff like that. I really don't want to do that. But at the same time, if you don't understand the magnitude of this opportunity and why acting right now is crucial, then you'll probably never be a super successful investor, and I really can't help you. But I'm selling my Crypto Quantum Leap course every day for $297, right? This is a real product that I sell for this real price every single day. And of course, I don't really want to cannibalize my own business by now including this here for free forever, right? So in a few days, I'm going to remove this super fast action bonus. This is for quick action takers. And that's also why you don't see it on the order form. If you order this right now, you'll just see Project Serenity. I'll add this manually. I give this manually extra to you because this is really not something permanent. So you'll get this right now. I don't know how long I want to keep this open, but I'm definitely going to remove it at some point. I just don't want to come up with some fake bullshit to say, okay, you have to buy this right now. The deadline is X. But it's a real thing. I'm going to remove it. You can still get it, but then you just have to pay the $297 extra for it. So to summarize, join now and you'll get all of this stuff. $5,544 value. You'll get this for only $997. So click on the link below the video right now to take advantage of this special opportunity. Thank you very much.